Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Hope you're doing well. So today in this video we'll learn about operators and different types of operators in Java. Here are some of the first of all, let's define what operators actually are. Operators are basically symbols that tell compiler to perform some operations, right? For example, we have binary operators perform operation on two operands and two values, and while unary operators perform operations on one operand, right? So here we have some of the type of arithmetic operators we have in Java and any other programming languages, right? So first of all, we have your unary operators. Unary operators are basically those operators which operate on only single operands, right? Have two types of unary operators, which is pre-increment, which add one value before assigning it to something else, and here we have increment. Here if we have decrement value, and then we have post increment, which add value after assigning it to something else, and this is we have increment, and this is decrement, right? Then we have binary operators. Binary operators are those operators which operate on two operands, right? So for example, we add something which operates on two values. So let's say we have a and b and we want to add them up. So we can add them up by just adding a plus operator between them. And then we have subtraction, division, multiplication, and modulo operator. Well, I think you are pretty much familiar with all these operators. But I think it's important to tell about modulo operator because it is important, and I think it is not that much common. So modulo operator is basically an operator which gives a remainder of any remainder of any division, right? So whatever remainder you have after division of two numbers, modulo give that value, right? So that's the function of modulo operator. Then we have relational operators. So relational operators relate two things, two values, right? Let's suppose we have two values of which we want to compare them according to if they are equal or not. So we use equality sign at that time, and if there is if you want to find a relation if some value is less than or equal to some value, greater than or equal to some value, less than some value, greater than some value, or not equal to some value. So these are the relational operators which we use in our general mathematics as well as in programming, right? And then we have logical operators, right? Logical operators checks if any statement is logically correct or not, right? So for example, here we have AND operator. So what AND operator do is AND operators check if the output of two logical statements is true or not. If they're true, then AND operator will give us true output, while if they're not true, then it will give us false output, right? And here then we have OR operator. OR operator give us output as true if any of two statements are true. If any of two statements are true, if both of them are true, then it's also going to give us true. If one of them is true, then it's gonna give us true, and if both are false, then it will give us a false value, answer or value, right? Then we have NOT operator. NOT operator is basically if we have a boolean value which is true, it will give us false value, and if it's false, it will give us true value. So that's the function of NOT operator, right? Next we have bitwise operators. Bitwise operators are called bitwise because they are performed on binary numbers or binary values. So bitwise operators are performed only on binary numbers, not on decimal numbers. We have binary right shift operator, binary left shift operator, binary ones complement, binary XOR, binary OR, and binary AND. So binary left shift, right shift operator, these are all binary bitwise operators. Then we have assignment operators. Here we have equals to. For example, if we make something equal to something, if we assign something to any value, it we use equal at that time. And then if we want to add up any value to another value, then we can use uh, a plus is equals to b, or we can also use a is equals to a plus b. So these are the same: subtraction, then we multiplication and division. So these are all the operators which we are going to discuss. So now let's go to our Visual Studio and study them one by one practically, right? So here we are in our Visual Studio. Now first of all, let's discuss unary operators. Right? So let's suppose we have a value a is equals to 5, and let's say int b is equals to plus plus a, right? Here and if we write out the output, here we have assigned a to 5, then we have incremented a by one value, and then we have assigned it to b. First we have incremented, and then we have assigned it to b value, right? And then we have we can also write let's say in c is equals to a, which we call as decrement. We have decremented the value, which means we have first decremented the value and then assigned it to c, right? C. And in case of post increment or post decrement, we have, let's say, int p is equals to a plus plus p, and int p is equals to a q, right? So these are the pre-unary operators. So we have, this is pre-increment, pre-decrement, post-increment, and post-decrement. So what is the difference between pre-increment and post-increment? In pre-increment, we first increment the value and then assign it to some other value, while in case of post-increment, we first assign this value, this a, to p, and then increment it, right? So that's the basic little difference between post and pre-increment. Now let's run this and check our output. Here you can see that first of all it has incremented the value, then it has decremented, then incremented, then decremented, and then incremented the value. These are the values which we wanted here, right? That's all about unary operator. Now I think you might be familiar with binary operators. I think there's no need to discuss them anymore. Binary operators, which are subtraction, addition, or division, and multiplication. So I think you are familiar with all these things. There is no need to waste any time here, and let's move forward and discuss relational operators. And relational operators are also pretty easy, and we have like is equals to, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, less than or greater than, or not equal to, right? So let's suppose we have int a is equals to 2, int b is equals to 3, right? Let's suppose if a is equals to b, then print out that both values are equal, right? And else if a is less than or equals to b, then print out that a is less than or equal to b, and else if a is greater than or equals to b, then print out a is greater than or equals to b. So that's how we can compare all these things. And else we can say try rest by yourself, right? So that's how our relational operators work. Now let's run it, and here you can see a is less than or equals to b, which is true in this case. A is not equals to b. A is less than or equals to b, which is true because a is less than b, and it is not greater than b. So that's all about relational operators. Now let's move forward and discuss some of the other operators. So next we have logical operators. Which include and, or, not, right? So let's suppose we have two values int a is equals to b, and in b int a is equals to 3, int b is equals to 5, int c is equals to 4, right? So let's say we wanna check a condition if a is greater than b. We want to check condition if a is greater than b, and if b is greater than c, then what to say, then just print out that both conditions are true, right? So this is how we can use AND operator. Then let's discuss OR operator here as well. Let's copy this, let's put OR here instead. If both of these, any of these conditions is true, then it will give us a true output. Any of two condition is true, right? And then we have C. So let's say we have if B is greater than C. Already we know that B is greater than C, so we'll put not here, right? Let's put not here and check the condition. If not B is greater than C is true, then print out that B is not B is greater. Here, although we know that B is greater, but it will give us false output because it is true, and not operator will change it to false, right? So that's how logical operators work. Here you can see the output. Any of two condition is true, right? It only giving us one output because any of the conditions true, because this is the only condition which is true. This is not true, because therefore it's not gonna give us output, because we have written not here. This will be executed if only if not b greater than c is true, right? So that's how logical operators work. So next we have assignment operators, right? Let's suppose we have int a is equals to 3, int b is equals to 4, right? So we can here we can now how we can use assignment operators to give us an output, right? So for example, we want to see say that b plus is equals to a, and print out b here. Here you can see the answer is 7. Now let's change this and let's convert it to something else, like this b plus a, right? So here you will get the same answer, because both of these conditions are same. Here you can see output is 7, so both of these conditions are same. You can also try all this for other operators, like we have subtraction minus is equals to, or multiplication is equals to, or division is equals to. Try them by yourself, right? So that's all for this video. Hope you'll understand this, and see you in the next lecture. Till then, keep learning and keep improving yourself. Thank you.